Darren Yarbrough, time flies. Time flies, Darren Yarbrough.
Thank you very much. Time flies when you're having fun. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I love to travel, and I especially love to fly. But the only time I really get to fly is every other year when my job sends me to work at a one-week convention. Oh, it's an amazing experience. And every time I promise that I will do everything in my power to have as much fun as I possibly can. It is amazing in so many ways. So this year, as I was preparing to go, I was scheduling my flights, part of my favorite part of the trip. And on the return flight, I noticed that I had the option to go through Charlotte, North Carolina. If you've never been to Charlotte, North Carolina, put it on your bucket list. It is one of the most beautiful airports in the country. Freshly renovated, bright, colorful shops, and a long line of rocking chairs where you can sit back, sip your coffee, and watch the world go by. I thought, that's for me. I only had one concern, and that was that the layover was only 53 minutes. I thought, 53 minutes, I can still see a few things and make my flight. What could possibly go wrong? Well, the wonderful week came, and all too soon it was over because time flies when you're having fun. But still, I had one highlight on my journey back. That was my layover in Charlotte. I arrived at the airport 6 hours early. I'm not going to miss my flight. As I'm walking through the airport, I see people here and there running to catch their flights. And I think, oh, glad that's not me. Finally, the time came, and I walked up to the gate, and it said 30 minutes to boarding. And I thought, I'm ready. I've got my boarding pass, I've got my luggage. I'm only missing one thing, an airplane. 25 minutes to boarding, 20 minutes to boarding, 15 minutes to boarding, and still no plane. At this point, the people around me are starting to get a little bit nervous. I try to lighten the mood and say, hey, it's okay. Maybe we're flying with Wonder Woman, because she flies that airplane that nobody can see. 10 minutes to boarding, 5 minutes to boarding, 1 minute to boarding, and still no plane. At this point, I'm thinking time might be the only thing flying here. Just then, around the corner came the prodigal plane. It hooked up to the gate, and I thought, great, here we go. And then it dawned on me, that's right, there are people on the plane. They got to get the people off the plane. They got to get their luggage off the plane. They got to fuel the plane. They got to put our luggage on the plane. They got to put us on the plane. As you can see, my 53-minute layover is dwindling fast. I try not to think about it too much. I got on the plane, enjoyed the flight, the beautiful scenery outside, the beautiful clouds beside me, the beautiful mountains below me. Finally, we landed in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the captain came on and made this announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to announce that we have made up some time in the air. We will be connecting with our gate shortly.
I thought, great, okay, I've got 30 minutes before my flight takes off. That's enough time to see a few things, right? But all hopes of that vanished when he came back on and said,
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry to report that the tower has given our gate away to another plane. We're waiting for another gate to be assigned.
So finally, by the time we connected with our gate, it was 18 minutes until my flight took off. And it was a 13-minute walk to the gate. I told my story to the people around me. They felt pity on me and let me stand up in the aisle. And as the minutes ticked away, the people around me started to get tense. I tried to lighten the mood a little bit and say, hey guys, if you look out on the runway later and you see some guy chasing a plane, it's probably me. Finally, the door of the plane flung open. A guy behind me yelled, run, Forrest, run! And without missing a beat, I said, I'm a-running. Out the plane, down the tunnel, around the corner. At this point, it's a 13-minute walk to my gate, and the flight takes off in 10 minutes. I'm gonna have to run. Now, there are a few things you should know about me. I know you're looking at me and saying, now there's the body of a long-distance runner. Throughout the years, I've done a lot of workouts. I've done weightlifting. I've done bicycling. I've done walking. But the last time that I did running on a consistent basis, Bush was in the White House. The first Bush. I'm thinking, do I even remember how this goes? Running's a little bit like skipping, right? No, that's not it. No. It's like a fast walk. I keep picking my feet up higher and higher, and before long, my big feet were flapping down the airport. Flop, 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 flop. Then came the shortness of breath. Flump, 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 flump. And you know, all the people in front of me just parted out of the way. At first, I thought they were being nice. Then it dawned on me, they were afraid. What would you do if you're walking along and you hear something behind you going, flump, 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 Well, finally, I made it to my gate where the people were blithely unaware that my flight had been delayed and were preparing to close the gate. I slipped in through the door, down the tunnel, and made it to my seat with a whole 2 minutes to spare. As I sat there, I thought to myself, well, at least now I have a funny story to tell. And so I do. And the reason that it's a funny story and not a sad story is because of a promise that I made to myself at the beginning of the journey, that I would do everything in my power to enjoy every part of the journey as much as possible. And it seems to me that that's a good rule for life. Because really, time flies, whether you have fun or not. I say, you might as well have fun. Toastmasters.